Welcome back everyone to Self-Serving Skillet. Today we're going to turn this into this. We're going to melt this cheese down in the liquid of your choice. Really, it can be anything. Beer, milk, we can use that whey, all that whey that we have from our cream cheese. And I'm shredding this on the thin setting, the thinnest cheese that I can get, because this is going to need to melt, and the thicker it is, the longer it takes to melt. So it might take a little bit more time to shred this on the small setting, but we're gonna make up for it when it comes time to melt this cheese. I like to lay it down and push away from me like this. I find I get a lot less knuckle accidents because of it. And then when that's full, we can just dump that out into a bowl. This whole cheese block, I already weighed this out, is 385 grams. Now, when we have this all shredded, this is going to be about 4 cups of shredded cheese. Do not use prepackaged shredded cheese. That's coated with a powder. It's meant to be an anti-caking agent, but it will also anti-cake our sauce. It's not gonna hold together right. I'm using mild cheddar, but really any soft cheese is going to work. If you find that a cheese is too soft to grate, you can always throw it in the freezer from refrigerator cold for 15-20 minutes, get it firm enough to shred. Then you'll be able to do this. When you come down to these final nubs, you'll find that your body heat has warmed them up slightly, so they're a little harder to shred, both because of that and because they're small. We can either do this and sort of force them through, or we can put them back in the freezer, firm them up a bit, or we can take all of these sort of larger cheese crumbles and put them into our sauce first so that they have time to melt. You want about 9 ounces or 265 grams of the liquid of your choice. I'm using beer. This is another example that I like the scale for. Your volumetric measurement is going to get a little bit messed up because the head on that beer is going to grow and then it's going to come down. And when it comes all the way down, that's your volumetric measurement. The rest of this is for me. What's going to make our cheese sauce delicious, gooey, and well-formed without any lumps in it is sodium citrate. Sodium citrate is sodium of citric acid, so you can't use citric acid for this. Read your labels. Sodium citrate both lowers the pH of the cheese sauce and makes the proteins a little bit more cooperative to being combined with the liquid. So 11 grams of that. If you're feeling educated and or entertained, let me know by liking this video. And then we can get cooking. Start with our liquid, wait until that gets a little bit steamy, then we're gonna mix in our sodium citrate. I'm getting a few wisps of steam, so it's time to add the sodium citrate. And now, remember that this is sodium, this is salt, so it's gonna lower the boiling point of our liquid. So I've got a simmer here. I'm gonna keep this moving, and the first pieces to go in are those pieces on top that were just a little bit larger. I wanna make sure that those have some time to melt. I'll give that a few turns. When I see the smallest pieces of cheese starting to melt, I'm gonna go in with a little bit more, sort of sprinkle that in. And this is a process. This is a slow process. And you might say it's gonna be easier to buy the queso. Well, yeah, it will be. And we do this because we love it. We do this because we want to affect the outcome of our end product. We do this to nourish the people that we love and also ourselves. Ratio is something that I forgot to mention. The cheese is 100%. Whatever your measurement of cheese is 100%. Your liquid should be 93% of what the cheese is by weight. And your sodium citrate, 4%. And that is what's gonna get us this sauce. And we can see now that it's coming together. Just need to keep stirring that, keep making sure that nothing's in one place for too long. And it is all incorporated. I'm gonna kill my heat. I'm going to take this off of the burner and continue to stir until it congeals just a bit. I want this to keep moving while it cools. I don't want any one part to get more of the heat off of the bottom of the pan than another. And about the time that you can see this moving around a little bit slower than it was in the beginning, you can stop, start working on whatever else you're gonna eat this with. And then for me, it's all about what you add to it. I like this Mrs. Renfro's green salsa. It's basically just jalapeno, onion, and garlic. But you can add pickled jalapenos to this. You can add pimentos to this. You can add little bits of ham to this. You can, anything that you can think goes with cheese, you can put in here. You can also toast some cumin up. Toast some cumin up, put it in this cheese. That'd be very nice. It's kind of a blank canvas. A little more salsa in there, and we'll mix this up, put it on some nachos. What I'm gonna do with the rest of this though, steam some broccoli, put the rest of that cheese sauce over the top. For broccoli this size, I'm gonna leave it in there for maybe 3-4 minutes, and you don't need a lot of water to do this, just enough to be able to boil for that amount of time. You can test the doneness with these with a fork or a paring knife inserted into the stem at the thickest part, and that's a done puppy. I like to put a paper towel at the bottom of my bowl because we're still gonna get some water leaking down from the steam, and that's gonna make the bottom of your bowl a little bit runny when it combines with the cheese sauce. Now this will coagulate a little bit when it is allowed to cool, so I'm just gonna put this back on the heat, stir until it's as liquid as I want it to be to pour over this broccoli. Then we eat. All right, what do I like with beer and cheese? Chili powder. So rich, so creamy, so cheesy, so smooth, very smooth. You can taste the beer, you can taste the cheese, but it's all one unit. There's no separation there. I bought this sodium citrate online for about 10 bucks, maybe a year or two ago. I used that to make American cheese. If you haven't seen that already, I'm gonna put it right up here. I have, however, been finding it in the bulk section of grocery stores, and you know what else is in the bulk section of grocery stores? It's coffee. What a great reward for making cheese sauce.